Hello, this is Edric Killiman with Montgomery Computing. You can find me at montgomerycomputing.ning.com. I'm working on a Silverlight line of business base application, which is implementing T4 templates, model-driven development, model view model design pattern, managed extendability framework, and it will include CRM, ERP, POS functionality, along with reporting. This project is called Thrice. I'd like to tell you a little bit more about it. You can download the documentation and follow along. I'll give you a quick overview. What we'll talk about is the summary, applications, timeline, the offer, technologies, legend, the overview diagram, hosting diagram, modeling diagram, the Thrice diagram, user interface diagram, reports diagram, and functionality matrix. The Thrice application is going to be a base application implementing .NET 4.0, Visual Studio 2010, Silverlight 4.0, Windows Communication Foundation, Microsoft Enterprise Library 4.0, Unity IOC Container, Managed Extendability Framework, Model View Model, Model-Driven Development, T4 Templates, NHibernate, SQL 2008, Crystal Reports 11, VMware, and VPN. The Thrice project will have CRM, or Customer Relationship Management, ERP, which is Enterprise Resource Planning, and POS, which is Point of Sale functionality. Primarily, it's going to be CRM functionality, which is Customer Relationship Management, to manage clients, contacts, locations, phone numbers, email, demographic info, call logs, that type of thing. The ERP functionality, or the Enterprise Resource Planning, would be dependent on the clients involved with the project. The ERP functionality is primarily going to be on a plug-in basis, so the clients that are involved with the project, when the specs are given, or when the specs are done, the most common functionality across all the clients, the requirements, will be rolled into the ERP functionality. POS, or the point of sale functionality, will be a limited POS system, but it will be able to take credit card info, do sales, and allow users to log in and make those purchases. The value proposition. To be involved with this project, if you're a software company, you'll see the benefit of being involved in this project. This is the newest technology, newest approaches, so if you're looking to ramp up from a tool standpoint, this might be a good starting point for you to build a much larger application off of. Again, this is going to be a base application that you can resell to your clients with whatever modifications that you put to it. But the back-end system, again, is going to implement some very sophisticated technologies and approaches. If you're a end-user company, you'll benefit from the functionality, the CRM, ERP, and POS functionality, and also by having a Silverlight 4.0 application, which is very good. You're at the forefront of technology development. The cost, again, the cost for the project is $7,500 to be part of the project before the project starts. After the project starts, after 60 days of a project start, if you're coming in, the cost is $12,500. Half on signing and half on completion. The project is scheduled to start July 1st, and tentative end date is December 31st. If you're interested in being part of this project, please fill out the interest in the offer. We'll talk about that. The base application is going to have base application structure, things like data access, error handling, security, login, workflow management, report management, import-export, that kind of thing. CRM functionality, primarily customer-driven, customer-focused, and with the ability for plugins to be put into, or to be developed and plugged in at a later point. Point of sale functionality, again, this is a skeleton implementation of POS, and enterprise resource planning, again, plug-in based, but the focus is dependent on customizations required by most of the clients involved in the project. Then there's also going to be specific application structure per client that is not going to be rolled in, and this is on a spec basis, specs per client. The scheduled start date is July 1st. Scheduled end date is December 31st, approximately 1,250 hours. Do your due diligence as far as whether these numbers are reasonable. If you're a development company, you can see if that's reasonable or not. If you're interested in finding out more about this project and being involved in this project, please fill out this interest in the offer. This is not a contract or NDA. There's no billable hours at this point. This is just stating your interest in being part of the project or finding out more about this project. Fax that over to the fax number there. And please include your contact info, and please fax the business card on there as well, along with any comments. Again, the technology overview that's involved with the project. Legend showing the different components of the diagrams, and we'll go into the diagram very quickly here. The internal network, Thrice servers, which are implementing VMware, development server, which is Montgomery Computing, and then a beta production server sandbox that will be available for the external clients. So a client coming in through LogMeIn, VM, or VPN services will be able to get to that sandbox production beta environment. Full source code will be available to clients at the end of the project, or during the project and at the end of the project. The Silverlight hosting, the Thrice application, MVVM user interface forms. The app types are base application, CRM, POS, ERP. Primarily, the application is going to be model-driven development, which will implement the Managed Extendability Framework, Enterprise Library, which is an application code or application blocks that are managed by Microsoft, models, modeled objects, the nhibernate, data access layer, WCF, WCF host application, WCF inside that, and then finally the SQL Server hosting. These are managed primarily by the modeling. On the remote users, on the production side, this hosting could be on Montgomery Computing, or it can be your own hosting or your own hosting services that you may already have. It will require Silverlight hosting, WCF hosting, and SQL Server hosting. Each different client will have their own hosting setup, but 1 year of hosting can be done at Montgomery Computing. Each of these diagrams is going to show more of a closer view of each of those components. So in this case, hosting, the internal network, the Thrice servers, remote clients will be able to VPN through LogMeIn to their sandbox environment. So each client is going to have their own separate sandbox. They can play with this code. We can talk about specs and do specific testing. The sandbox development environment will be Montgomery Computing only, but the beta environment can be accessed by remote clients. The end users, again, here's the hosting, Silverlight hosting. These are the requirements there. Model-driven development is a subject all by itself. Please look up the links to find out more about model-driven development if you're interested in it. This is an approach to development that's different from using a integrated application environment or from hand-coding code. This is a model-driven approach, so you're visually building the components and having it generate code. The code that is going to be generated from these models will be the Thrice application and the subsequent projects, the base model view models, app types and implementing meth, the enterprise library, modeled objects, and nhibernate, WCF, on down the line. This approach to development is more than can be described in this short video. Please do your research on if you're interested in model-driven development. If you're a development company, this really is where you should be. And this is one reason to be involved with a Thrice project, so that you can ramp up by being involved in a project like this, so your team can benefit from this. The Thrice project, again, here's an overview. You can download the documentation and see more of the detail. The user interface and all of the initial functionality. Download the documentation. Again, custom client code will be implemented on the user interface. The reporting, also customer client code, or custom client reports. The initial reports that we're looking to implement. And there's a functionality matrix showing more of the detail. Please download the documentation, and I hope that you're interested in finding out more about the Thrice project. Fill out the interest in the offer, and I'm looking forward to hearing about your needs, and hope you're interested in the project. Thank you very much.